I have been getting the same question over and over again from real estate entrepreneurs, capital raisers, passive investors, CEOs of real estate companies. And that question is, given the amount of uncertainty in the marketplace right now because of COVID, should we be doing deals? Are there any deals that make sense right now? And so to answer that question, we created a webinar with 3 panelists that are elite, savvy, sophisticated real estate entrepreneurs to ask them that exact question. We've got a senior living consultant, which is obviously interesting given the amount of attention to that space. Jillian Hellman, who is the CEO of Realty Mogul, one of the most premier crowdfunding portals in the United States. And Josh Satin, who is the director of acquisitions over at Gelt, has about $1 billion under management. So these 3 people answer that question. And then, of course, we get into the details. So you can get access to that free webinar at cfcmentorshipprogram.com/doing-deals. And I'll see you on the inside. Look, we all know that real estate has created more millionaires than pretty much any other business. The problem is, it's also created a lot of heartaches and bankruptcies. Sure, we can get access to a ton of real estate education on the internet, but that's precisely the problem. How can we tell which strategies will consistently produce asymmetric returns and which should be avoided at all costs? My goal is to give real estate entrepreneurs, capital raisers, and investors all of the secrets so that we can grow our portfolios without dealing with costly investment nightmares. And that's what this program is all about. I'm Hunter Thompson, and welcome to the Cashflow Connections Real Estate Podcast. How's it going? I'm Hunter Thompson. Welcome back to the Cashflow Connections Real Estate Podcast. Before we jump into this Monday Minutes, just remember to leave a review for us in iTunes. I think I mentioned before, the limit is 3. So if you've listened to 3 episodes, got a lot out of it, make sure you do us a big favor and leave a review. It makes a huge difference in terms of the show's visibility and the ranking in iTunes. So today, we're going to talk about the story of Cashflow Connections, most importantly, how we got our first real investor. This is an investor that I didn't know socially, wasn't friends with, wasn't in my family or anything like that. So you may remember that when we originally launched the company, ASIM Capital, it was actually called Cashflow Connections, which is why this podcast is called the Cashflow Connections Real Estate Podcast. So when I launched the company, it was a long time ago, and the market, even within accredited investors, very few people were familiar with the term syndications and passive investing. And I spent a lot of my time when I was trying to court investors explaining what a passive investment was. And there was a lot of aversion to this. A lot of people just thought it was a Ponzi scheme because it sounded too good to be true. And so when I launched Cashflow Connections, it was actually focused on, brace for it, single-family houses. And it wasn't because I thought this was the best way to invest. It was because I was concerned that I wasn't going to be able to convince people to invest with me unless I was investing in a structure that they're already familiar with. I was just very concerned about the learning curve. I was fearful that the market was not mature enough to actually be receptive to the product that I was talking about. So I spent a ton of time building out a company that I wasn't really aligned with, to be honest, because I was investing in passive syndications and all of our marketing was about single-family houses. In fact, I had an ebook called Rest Easy Real Estate, which if you Google around, you could probably find it. And it's back in 2012 or so. And it's unfortunate because it's a very clear sign in the world of brand alignment, marketing, being authentic. If you are writing copy or you are presenting yourself and you're not being authentic, it wasn't that I was trying to mislead anyone. It was just that I thought I was giving them what they wanted. But the reality, the situation was that I was not investing in single family houses. So I was like not necessarily misleading my base because I thought I was doing the right thing. But the truth was, how can I be passionate about investing in single-family houses when I myself wasn't really doing a lot of that? And of course, the results were less than spectacular. People would come to the website, find out about me, maybe read my ebook. But at the end of the day, I wasn't jumping out of bed to help people invest in these types of investments. So after about 6 months of totally flopping, right? So I worked on this website, I did all this work, launched the company. Not only did I have no investors, I basically had no emails, no phone calls. I mean, it just wasn't resonating at all. I decided to relaunch and rebrand. And this is when everything changed. So still with the Cashflow Connections name, but I reformatted the website. I changed all of the branding around to actually focus on the types of investments that I was actually focused on, and everything changed. And I specifically remember launching a self-storage fund, and someone came through our funnel. And I'll tell you what the 6 emails were, and you can mimic this for your own business. I think this is a really good structure. So they would come to the website and there would be a call to action. The call to action would be an ebook, and the ebook was about investing in self-storage. Now, this was evergreen content. Yes, we did have a self-storage fund available, but the content was going to be able to be used for years to come. In fact, people still download it to this day all the time. Ebook is about 5,000 to 7,000 words. So here's what happens. They come to the website, they opt in for the ebook, they exchange the ebook for their email address. They instantly get the ability to download the email with the ebook in it, and it's sent directly to their email address. Now, this is important because you want people to get in the habit of opening emails from you. So that's the first email. Then they get, about 24 hours later, they get an ebook reminder that says, hey, how did you like the book? By the way, if you're interested, connect with us on Facebook. This is a really important email because you're still in that honeymoon phase. You can send them a lot of emails. You can have them opt into other things because they want to learn more and more about you. But most importantly, I want to be able to contact them across multiple platforms. Email is the end-all be-all, but if you also have a Facebook group, it's important to draw traffic to that, especially in the early stages of this email stream. So first email is the ebook. Second email is the reminder of the ebook. The third email is really important as well, which is greatest hits. Hey, thanks again for checking out that ebook. Here are 5 articles that I've written recently, or 5 podcast interviews that I have done on different topics. Again, this is the honeymoon stage, so they're going to be devouring your content. So if you can give them a way to hack it, the best things that you've put out recently, a greatest hits email, where all of these resources are in one compiled list, it's going to save them a lot of time, and they'll probably spend more time actually getting to know you. That's email 3. Email 4 is a case study. Hey, you've read my book. You know it works. You've connected with us on Facebook. You've seen some of the articles that I've written or the podcasts that I've been a guest on. Now, here's a case study of how this has worked for our clients previously. Now, originally, when I didn't have any real clients, a case study was for a property that I just purchased for my own personal portfolio and the success that it was. Now, it's much more powerful to have other clients which are closer to who that client may be. So it's better when you're shifting from growth to contribution, as Russell Brunson says, to focus on other people's successes because that will resonate more with your audience. So email 4 is a case study. Then, only then, have you built up enough credibility to actually ask for a call. So email 5 days in, hey, I'd love to connect with you. I can see that you devoured this content. You've read the ebook. You connected on Facebook. You've seen the articles and the podcasts I've been on. And you know that this works because I've provided you a case study. Let's jump on a call, 15 to 20 minutes. The 6th email is just a reminder to schedule that call if they don't already do it. That's a pretty good email stream. Now, once we had all of this up and running, once we had reformatted the company to actually align with my personal investing strategy, and this funnel was working, that's the first time I got my real first call, and then that was the first time I got my real first investor. Now, the reason I'm saying this is I see so many people make the mistake of thinking that the call is the end-all be-all and the call should be led with on the website. So you go to someone's website, at the bottom, there's a call to action, and it says schedule a call. But the learning here is that to get an accredited investor to jump on a call with you, it takes a ton of credibility. They have to read your ebook. They have to have time for it. They have to connect with you on Facebook. They have to see your greatest hits. They have to have a case study. And only then are some going to be interested in actually jumping on a call with you. So there's a couple emails that I think you should be implementing. Always recheck and change them over time. Optimize, make sure things are working. But that's the way that we got our first investor, and I hope it works for you as well. I have been getting the same question over and over again from real estate entrepreneurs, capital raisers, passive investors, CEOs of real estate companies. And that question is, given the amount of uncertainty in the marketplace right now because of COVID, should we be doing deals? Are there any deals that make sense right now? And so to answer that question, we created a webinar with 3 panelists that are elite, savvy, sophisticated real estate entrepreneurs to ask them that exact question. We've got a senior living consultant, which is obviously interesting given the amount of attention to that space. Jillian Hellman, who is the CEO of Realty Mogul, one of the most premier crowdfunding portals in the United States. And Josh Satin, who is the director of acquisitions over at Gelt, has about $1 billion under management. So these 3 people answer that question. And then, of course, we get into the details. So you can get access to that free webinar at cfcmentorshipprogram.com/doing deals. And I'll see you on the inside.